Chosen one, I need to tell you something that is going to be hard for you to receive because you have spent so long feeling overlooked. God is madly in love with you, not mildly fond of you, not tolerating you, not loving you out of obligation the way you have quietly assumed. Madly, deeply, almost recklessly in love with you. And there is a specific reason, a particular thing you did, that moved heaven to a love this fierce. You probably do not even remember it as anything important. But heaven has never stopped talking about it. I came here today to tell you what it was, and why it captured the heart of God the way it did. I know how foreign this sounds to you. You have lived so long with the sense that you were at best on the edge of being loved, that you had to earn it, perform for it, keep proving yourself worthy of it. You have measured your worth by your productivity, your usefulness, your ability to hold everything together for everyone else. And underneath all of that has been a quiet ache, a fear that if people really saw you, the tired and depleted and struggling you, they would love you less. So the idea that God is not just accepting you but is actually wild about you feels almost impossible to believe. I am asking you to stay with me anyway, because what I am about to tell you will change how you see your entire life. Let me tell you what it was that moved heaven. It was not your successes. It was not the times you had everything together and gave generously from your abundance. What captured the heart of God was something you did when you had nothing left. There was a moment, you know the one, when you were completely empty, when you had no strength, no resources, no reason left to keep believing, and every honest person would have understood if you had simply stopped. And in that moment, with nothing left, you still did the faithful thing. You still gave, you still prayed, you still showed up, you still chose love, when bitterness would have been justified. That is what undid the heart of heaven. Here is why that moved God so deeply. Anyone can be faithful when they are full. Anyone can give from abundance, praise from a mountaintop, believe when the evidence is good. But to do the faithful thing from an empty place, when it costs you everything and you get nothing back, when no one is watching and there is no reward in sight, that is the rarest and most precious thing a human heart can offer. It is the purest form of love, because it is love with no self-interest left in it. And when heaven saw you do that, from your emptiest place, it did not see weakness. It saw the most beautiful thing it had ever seen in you. If something in you is stirring, if you are beginning to remember the moment I am describing, do one thing with me before we go further. Comment the words, "I gave from empty," not to boast, but to let your own heart acknowledge what heaven has never forgotten, that you loved when it cost you everything, and that it mattered more than you ever knew. Here is what I need you to understand about a love like this. The love of God is not a response to your performance. It is a response to your heart. And what you revealed about your heart in that empty moment told heaven everything it needed to know about who you really are. You are not the sum of your achievements. You are the one who kept loving when there was nothing in it for you. That is the truest thing about you, and it is the thing God fell in love with. Not the polished version you show the world, the raw, depleted, faithful version that only heaven got to see. But I have to be honest with you about something, because you came here for truth. There is a reason you have not been able to feel this love, even though it has been pouring over you the whole time. The love has never stopped, but your capacity to receive it, to actually feel it land, has been blocked. And that block is the reason that the most loved people can still feel desperately unloved. The reason heaven can be shouting its affection over you while you hear only silence. I am going to tell you exactly what that block is later in this message, and what a team of researchers in New York discovered about it. Because what they found explains something deeply spiritual people have struggled with their whole lives, but never had words for. For now, hold only this one question as we go. What if the reason you have felt unloved was never that the love was absent, but that something inside you that receives love has been in need of repair? Hold that question. We will return to it. But first, I need to take you deeper into that empty moment and show you what heaven was doing while you thought you were alone, because the truth of it will heal something that has hurt for a very long time. Let me name some of the ways the ache of feeling unloved has shaped you, so you know I am describing your life and not a stranger. You have become the giver in almost every relationship, the one who pours out and rarely receives, because somewhere along the way you decided that being needed was the closest you would get to being loved. You have struggled to let people care for you, deflecting their kindness, insisting you are fine because receiving makes you feel exposed in a way that giving never does. And in your quietest moments, you have wondered whether anyone would stay if you ever stopped being useful, if you ever let them see how tired you really are. That wondering is the wound this message has come to heal. You have also, perhaps, struggled to believe that God could delight in you specifically, rather than just loving everyone in general. You can accept that God loves the world. What you cannot quite accept is that God looks at you by name with a smile. That the creator of everything has favorites and that you are one of them. It sounds too good, too personal, almost arrogant to believe, but I am telling you that it is true, and that your faithfulness from emptiness is the very reason heaven cannot stop talking about you. You are not loved in general. You are loved in particular, by name, with a fierceness that would undo you if you could feel even a fraction of it. Let me take you back into that empty moment and show you what was really happening. You thought you were alone in it. You thought no one saw the cost of what you were doing, the way you kept going when you had every reason to stop. But heaven was leaning in. In the unseen, there was a stillness, the kind that falls when something sacred is happening. Because to heaven, the sight of a human being choosing faithfulness from total emptiness is one of the most sacred things in all of creation. You were not performing for an empty room. You were being watched by a God who could not look away, because what you were doing was breaking his heart with love. Think about what your faithfulness from emptiness actually proved. It proved that your love was real and not transactional. So many people love God for what he gives them. They praise when blessed and grow distant when the blessing dries up. But you praised when there was nothing. You stayed when there was no reward. And in doing so, you answered the deepest question heaven ever asks of a heart. Will you love me, or only for what I provide? You answered it with your life, in the hardest possible season, and your answer was yes. That yes, spoken from emptiness, is worth more to heaven than 1,000 easy praises spoken from abundance. Here is the first thing I want you to truly receive. The empty season that you have been ashamed of, the one where you felt you had nothing to offer, was actually the season you offered the most valuable thing you have ever given. You have looked back on that time and seen only your weakness, your lack, your barely holding on. Heaven looks back on it and sees the finest hour of your faith. What felt to you like the season you had the least to give was, in the eyes of heaven, the season you gave the most, because you gave from nothing, and giving from nothing is the highest form of love there is. Let me reframe the emptiness itself, because you have feared it your whole life. You have treated your empty seasons as failures, as evidence that you were doing something wrong, as proof you were not blessed enough or faithful enough. But the empty season was not a punishment. It was the stage on which the most beautiful act of your life was performed. Heaven was not absent in your emptiness. Heaven was closer in your emptiness than in any season of plenty, because emptiness is where the realest love is revealed. You were never more seen, never more loved, than in the moment you felt you had nothing left. And understand this, the love did not arrive because you finally earned it in that empty moment. The love was always there. What the empty moment did was reveal a heart so beautiful that heaven wanted you to know, beyond any doubt, exactly how treasured you are. If that just rearranged something in you, if you suddenly see your emptiest season as your most beautiful one, mark this moment. Comment the words, "It was my finest hour." That is not a small thing to realize. That is the moment a person stops being ashamed of their emptiness and starts seeing it as the place where their love shone brightest. Now, here is the second thing, and this is the one that begins to heal you. The reason you cannot feel how loved you are is not that you are unworthy of feeling it. It is that the part of you that receives love has been worn thin. Years of giving without receiving, of pouring out while running on empty, of being the strong one for everyone else, have left the receiving part of you almost numb. Love has been pouring over you, but it has been landing on a surface too calloused by exhaustion to feel it. This is the tragedy of the most giving people. They become so practiced at output that their capacity for input quietly shuts down, and then they stand in a downpour of love and feel nothing but dry. This changes everything about your struggle. You have assumed that feeling unloved meant you were unloved, or that something was spiritually wrong with you. But the love was never the problem. The reception was the problem, and reception, unlike worthiness, is not a moral issue. It is a capacity, and capacities can be restored. You do not need to become more worthy of love. You are already loved beyond your understanding. You need the part of you that feels love to be healed, so that the ocean of affection that has always surrounded you can finally reach you. That is a completely different problem than the one you have been fighting, and it is a problem with an answer. I told you I would come back to what a team in New York discovered about this exact block, the numbness that keeps loved people feeling unloved. I am almost ready to bring it forward. But a discovery only matters once you feel the full shape of the problem it solves. So before the answer, you need to feel what it would be like to actually receive the love that has been chasing you your whole life. Let me show you that future now, because it is the very thing your faithfulness from emptiness has earned. There is a third thing I need to place in you before we turn to the vision, because it will protect what you are about to receive. When a heart that has been numb for a long time begins to feel love again, the first thing that often rises is not joy, it is grief. All the years of feeling unloved, all the moments you needed care and did not receive it, all the loneliness you pushed down to keep functioning can come up at once when the receiving part of you reopens. Do not be afraid of that. The grief is not a setback, it is the thawing. A limb that has gone numb hurts as the feeling returns, and that pain is the proof of healing, not of damage. So if love begins to reach you and tears come with it, let them. They are the sign that the numbness is lifting and your capacity to receive is coming back to life. So give yourself permission in advance to feel it all. You do not have to stay strong through this part. The strength that got you through the empty seasons is not the strength you need now. What you need now is the willingness to be loved, which is a far more vulnerable thing than the willingness to give. Let heaven love you. Let the people in your life care for you. Stop deflecting, stop insisting you are fine, and let yourself receive. The same courage you used to give from emptiness, turn it now toward the harder task of receiving from fullness. That is the next frontier of your faith. Now let me show you what your life becomes when you finally can. Imagine a morning, a few months from now, where you wake up and the first thing you feel is love. Not because anything external changed, not because someone finally said the right words, but because the part of you that receives love has been healed, and now the affection that always surrounded you can finally reach you. You lie there in the quiet and you feel it, warm and steady and undeniable, the sense of being delighted in. The ache that has been your constant companion, the quiet fear that you were on the edge of love rather than at the center of it, is simply gone, and in its place is a settled knowing. I am loved, I am wanted, I am chosen by name. Let me show you the first face of that future. You stop performing for love. The exhausting machinery of earning your worth through usefulness finally powers down, because you no longer need to earn what you have realized you already have. You give now not to secure love, but as an overflow of love already received. And the difference is everything. Giving from emptiness to earn love drains you. Giving from fullness because you are already loved fills you even as you pour out. Your whole way of moving through the world changes when the foundation underneath it shifts from striving to receiving. Here is the second face of it. Your relationships transform. The walls you built to keep from being seen come down, because being seen is no longer terrifying when you know you are loved. You let people care for you. You receive kindness without deflecting it. You allow yourself to be known, not just useful. And you discover that the people who love you have been waiting for years to give you what you would never let them give. The loneliness that came not from being unloved, but from being unable to receive love, finally ends. And the relationships that had grown thin and one-directional become mutual, alive, full. And here is the third face, the one that heals the deepest wound. You finally feel God smiling at you. The relationship with heaven that felt distant, dutiful, one-sided, becomes intimate. You sense the delight, the affection, the personal nearness of a God who is not merely tolerating you, but is wild about you. Your prayers stop feeling like talking into silence and start feeling like being held. This is what your soul has been starving for underneath every other hunger. Not just to love God, but to feel loved by God. And it becomes available every day, the moment the receiving part of you is restored. There is a fourth face of that future I do not want you to miss, because it touches the home you live in. When you finally receive love, instead of only giving it, the people closest to you stop feeling like they can never reach you. For years they have tried to love you and watched it bounce off the coat of self-protection you did not know you wore. When the receiver is healed, they finally get to give you what they have always wanted to give. The love in your closest relationships starts to flow both ways, and a one-sided bond becomes a mutual one. Your healing does not only fill you, it finally lets the people who love you succeed at loving you. Anchor that future right now, because what you declare you begin to draw toward you. Comment the words, "I am madly loved." Say it not as a beggar hoping, but as a chosen one finally receiving what was always theirs. Let me put an ancient face on what moved heaven about you, because you are not the first whose gift from emptiness undid the heart of God. Think of the widow who gave 2 small coins. The wealthy gave large sums from their abundance, and no one remembered their names. But a poor widow put in 2 coins, everything she had to live on, and heaven stopped to watch. The one who sees everything pointed to her and said she had given more than all the others, because they gave from their surplus and she gave from her emptiness. Her gift was so small the world did not notice. Her gift was so pure that it is still being spoken of thousands of years later. That is what your gift from emptiness did. The world did not notice. Heaven has never stopped talking about it. You have measured your value by the size of what you can give. Heaven measures it by the cost. And what you gave when you had nothing left cost you more than the largest gift of a person who has everything. That is why the love came for you the way it did. Not because your gift was big, but because it was everything. You did not give from your overflow. You gave from your need. And there is no love heaven treasures more than that. So let me tell you who you are. You are not the unloved one, hovering on the edge of affection, hoping to be chosen. You are the widow with the two coins, the one heaven pointed to. The one whose quiet, costly faithfulness moved the heart of God more than all the loud and easy gifts of the comfortable. You are not on the edge of love. You are at the very center of it, by name, and it is time the part of you that feels love finally knew it. Now let me close the loop I opened at the beginning. I told you there was something a team of researchers in New York discovered about the block that keeps loved people feeling unloved, the numbness in the part of you that receives, and I said I would come back to it. I waited until now on purpose, because a solution only becomes useful once you understand the full shape of the problem it solves. You now understand the shape. You feel the cost of the numbness, the way it kept you dry in a downpour of love. And you have seen what receiving that love would make possible. So you are finally ready for the rest. But I have to be honest with you about why this answer has stayed hidden from sincere, loving people for so long. It is not because heaven was hiding it. It is because the answer comes from a place most spiritual people never think to look. It does not arrive wrapped in religious language. It comes from a laboratory. And the bridge between what science discovered and what your spirit has been crying out for is the most important thing I will say in this entire message. So let me build that bridge for you now, gently, because a heart as tender as yours deserves to be handled with the greatest care. There is something that was proven in a laboratory in 1981 that the most loving, spiritual people were never told. A scientist named Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for showing that the human brain is built in two halves, two hemispheres, and that these halves were designed to operate in synchronized partnership. When they fire together, in sync, a person enters what researchers call whole brain activation. And in that synchronized state, the capacity to feel, to receive, to actually take in love and presence and connection comes fully online. The very faculty that has gone numb in you, the one that receives love, depends in part on this synchronized state. Your inability to feel the love that surrounds you was never only spiritual. It had a physical dimension, and that dimension has a name. Here is the part that will stop your breath. Researchers found that around 98% of young children operate in that synchronized whole brain state as their natural default. Watch a small child receive love and you will see it. The unguarded, full-bodied way they soak it in. But by adulthood, fewer than 1 in 1,000 still live there. The capacity does not vanish because you failed God. It erodes because modern life, the noise, the chronic giving without receiving, the years in survival mode, gradually pull the two halves out of step. The numbness that keeps you from feeling loved is not a metaphor and not a flaw in your soul. It is a physical, measurable reality. And what is physical can be repaired. Before I tell you what the repair is, let me tell you about two people. A woman from California had tried everything: prayer, journaling, every practice her community offered, and she kept arriving at the same place. She believed the words but could not feel the reality behind them. After 10 days, she said something cleared. A channel that had been blocked was suddenly open, not because she tried harder, because the receiver had been repaired. A man from Texas described something similar. Someone who had held everything together for everyone around him while his own inner life went thin. Prayer had started to feel like talking into a wall. 2 weeks later, the fog that had been so constant he stopped, noticing it as fog was simply gone. That is because of what a team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, built. They took over an hour of clinical neural sync technology, the kind of whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings, and through years of compression and refinement, They turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. 8 minutes a day, headphones, eyes closed. That is the entire requirement. They call it the genius switch. It is not a meditation app. It is not a mood sound. It is a targeted auditory sequence engineered based on the Nobel Prize research of Dr. Sperry to bring the two hemispheres back into sync and restore the whole brain state that was your default in childhood. The genius switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who understands that God prepared not only a love to give them, but the capacity to receive it. The person who has given from emptiness for years, who has loved when it cost everything and felt loved by no one, and who is finally willing to stop treating their numbness as a spiritual failing and start treating it as something with a specific address. Most people who hear this will scroll past because they have made peace with feeling unloved as their permanent condition. You are still here. That is not coincidence. That is the persistence of a heart that kept loving, even from empty. Let me tell you what it costs, because it will surprise you. Colleagues told Dr. Barone this would be fair value even at $500. In-person neurofeedback runs $300 an hour. A home machine can cost $7,000. It was not released at $500 or $200 or $100. It was released at $49. And today, on the direct page, an additional $10 off brings it to $39. Along with it come 4 free editions: a guided visualization from a top-rated creator, a grocery guide that saves $100 a month, a century-old text on attracting provision, and a printable guide of 5 daily habits. All of it is backed by an unconditional money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen 80 times. If it does not do for you what it has done for over 18,000 people, every dollar comes back. No conditions. Let me frame this the way your heart needs to hear it. The love God has placed all around you becomes something you can actually feel in the synchronized state. In a way, it simply is not in the numb one. Not because the love is new, because the part of you that recognizes it is finally restored. The affection that has been chasing you your whole life is already here, already poured out. The only question is whether the receiver in you is awake enough to feel it land. And one thing worth naming plainly, if you search common platforms for anything that sounds like this, you will find imitations. The team studied them, and most carried no real neural sync at all. The mechanism is what makes the difference, and the mechanism only exists in what they built. The direct page is the only verified source, and that is where the link points, in the description and the pinned comment. Read everything there before you decide anything. Now, hear me carefully, because this protects your heart. The tool does not replace God. It does not manufacture love. It does not do the receiving for you. The love of God for you is not conditional on any tool, but a tool that restores the receiver simply lets the love that is already pouring over you finally reach the place in you that has been too numb to feel it. So, if your spirit confirmed something while I was speaking, do not argue it away. Comment the words, "I open to receive," as a chosen one who is done standing dry in a downpour of love. Let me answer the doubt rising in some of you, because I would feel it too. You have tried things before. Apps, sound files, practices that promised to help you feel something and gave you a few good days before the numbness returned. I understand the fatigue, but hear the difference. Most of what is sold reaches only a sliver of the picture and leaves the two halves as disconnected as it found them. What Dr. Barone built works at the level of hemisphere synchronization itself, the actual root of the numbness, using a layered protocol refined over years of clinical work. That is a different mechanism, and a different mechanism produces a different category of result. This is also why effort never made you feel loved. You cannot force the receiving part of you back online by trying harder to feel. You restore it gently, a few minutes at a time, until feeling loved becomes your ordinary baseline instead of your rare exception. The deeper current of this message, though, is not a tool. It is the love of God that finally reaches you once the receiver is clear. So let me return us to that, because the most important thing still waits ahead. And for the chosen one who felt something stir when the mind was mentioned earlier, that door is still open in the description and the pinned comment. It is a small step, but small steps taken from a restored heart have changed entire seasons. That is the only place I will point to it. Everything that remains in this message belongs entirely to something deeper, and it is time we return to it. I want to speak to who you actually are now. Underneath the years of feeling unloved, you are the beloved. Not someone hoping to become beloved through enough good behavior, but someone who already is, completely, right now. In your tired and depleted and imperfect state, the love was never something out ahead of you to be earned. It has been behind you, beneath you, around you the whole time, the foundation you were standing on while you searched everywhere for it. You are not a person trying to become lovable. You are a person learning to believe you already are. You are also a faithful one. In a world full of love that comes and goes with circumstance, you proved that yours does not. You loved from empty. You stayed when there was nothing in it for you. That kind of faithfulness is the rarest currency in all of heaven, and you spent it freely in your hardest season without even knowing its worth. Heaven knows its worth. And the love that is now coming for you, fierce and personal and overwhelming, is not charity. It is response. You loved God for nothing, and now God is loving you back with everything. And you are a vessel of love for others. The same numbness that kept you from receiving love also dimmed your ability to feel how much you have to give. When the receiver in you is restored, you do not only feel loved. You become able to love others from fullness instead of from the exhausting emptiness you have given from for so long. The people in your life are about to meet a version of you that loves them not to earn their love, but as an overflow of a love you have finally received. You become a wellspring instead of a drained well. That is the gift hidden inside this healing. Let me give you something to carry into your ordinary days, because revelation without practice fades by morning. Each day, before the demands of the world reach you, take a few minutes to simply receive. However you do it, through stillness, through breath, through the restoration I described earlier, the principle is the same. You do not begin your day by immediately pouring out for everyone else. You begin it by letting yourself be loved, by filling the well before you give from it. The ones who burn out are almost always the ones who give all day and never receive. Begin each morning by receiving, and you will pour out from fullness instead of from the empty place that has drained you for so long. And carry this second practice. When the old belief returns, the one that whispers you are unloved, do not argue with it and do not accept it. Name it. Say plainly, this is the numbness, not the truth. The numbness says no one loves you. You have to earn it. You are on the edge. The truth says you are the beloved, at the center, loved beyond measure. Naming it strips its power, because the lie only rules you while you mistake it for reality. The moment you recognize it as static from a system that cannot feel, it loses its authority, and the love that always surrounded you reaches you again. Let me leave you with one more real account before we seal this, because it will steady your faith. There was a person who had spent their whole life as the giver, the strong one, the one everyone leaned on and no one thought to care for. They had quietly concluded that being needed was the most love they would ever get. When the receiving part of them was finally restored, they described it not as being loved more, but as being able, for the first time, to feel the love that had been there all along. The people who loved them had not changed. What changed was that the love could finally land, and they wept, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming relief of finally feeling what they had been starving for. That is not an exception. That is simply what happens when a giving heart is given a receiver clear enough to feel what it has always deserved. Now, I want to lead you through something before we close, and I want you to actually do it with me, because this is where the message stops being words and becomes an experience. Settle wherever you are. Let your shoulders drop. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Picture yourself standing in the rain, but this is not ordinary rain. This rain is love falling over you, and it has been falling your whole life. For years you stood under it wearing a heavy coat you did not even know you had on, a coat made of exhaustion and self-protection, and the belief that you had to earn what was already free. Now, in this image, feel that coat being gently lifted off your shoulders. Feel the first drops actually reach your skin. Feel the warmth of it. This is the love of God, and it is touching you now, not because you finally did enough, but because it never stopped falling, and you are finally able to feel it. Lift your face to it. Let it soak into the dry places. You are loved. You have always been loved. And now, at last, you can feel it. And now, gently, let me bring you into the closing of this message, into the part where what you have felt becomes sealed in you. Take a breath of gratitude, not forced, just a quiet acknowledgement that you are loved, that you have always been loved, that the love survived every season you thought you were alone. There is grace in that, and it deserves to be received before anything else. Now let me lead you to release. Whatever you walked in carrying, the belief that you were unloved, the exhaustion of earning, the heavy coat of self-protection, gather all of it into your hands like sand. And on this next breath, open your hands and let it fall. Release the striving to be worthy. Release the fear that you are too much or not enough. Release the loneliness you carried even in crowded rooms. Let it pour out of your hands and onto the ground, and feel how much lighter you are without it. And from that lightness, rise into who you are. Say it with me, in your spirit if not out loud. I am loved. I am madly, fiercely, personally loved, not for what I do, but for who I am. I gave from empty, and it moved the heart of heaven, and now I open my hands and my heart to finally receive the love that has been chasing me all along. If your whole heart agrees, seal it where you can see it. Comment the words, I am the beloved. Let that be the truth your loneliness hears today as a chosen one who is done standing dry in a downpour of love. Hear this final word over your life. You are not waiting to be loved. You are already, at this very moment, the object of a love so fierce it would undo you to see it fully. What you did when you had nothing left captured the heart of God forever. So stop searching for love on the edges of your life. It has been at the center the whole time, falling like rain, waiting only for you to lift your face. You are madly, completely, eternally loved. And so it is.